Jen Dice here with Status Coup, and I have Kea here. This is a beautiful area, and I was actually parked. We're here at the DNC here in DC, and I kind of just stumbled across this. Tell us what this area is designated for and what you guys have been doing.
Yeah, we are a group of social justice activists, and I'm with U.S. Climate Action Network and Arm in Arm, and we have been out here with a big coalition of colleagues from indigenous communities, from Black and Brown communities, and from rural America, from urban America, from all across the country to demand that we have a solution to the crises that we are facing right now that includes COVID, that includes economic injustice, that includes racial injustice, and that includes climate injustice. And so we want a solution that deals with all of these crises at once, and that is in fact what Biden and Harris ran on. It's what we pushed for them to run on. It's what they ran on. It's what we voted for and we supported in the process of the election. And now we're asking Biden to be brave. And we're asking Biden to pick a cabinet that represents what we all just fought so hard for and voted for. And so that's our message out here. We've built this altar for climate justice, to represent the need to invest in Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities, and the need for millions of union jobs. And so that's what we're out here asking for. We're going to stay here all night. We're going to do another rally in the morning. We were joined by a lot of members of Congress and a senator earlier. We know that the things that we want, a Green New Deal, a economics investment in this country and in Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities is what we need in order to get out of the crisis that we're in, and that we can deal with this syndemic, this overlapping pandemic. So we've got one pandemic, we've got a climate crisis, we've got an economic crisis, we have massive racial injustice. We can deal with these in a holistic way, and that's what we are out here demanding.
So thinking back to right after Bernie conceded and Biden had the Democratic nomination, they had formed these working groups. And so a lot of progressives were really hopeful because they had people like AOC on those working groups. Coming from that, do you feel hopeful or not, seeing how that went? Like, it was good that they had progressives on those groups, but many progressives were disappointed with the outcome of those groups.
Yeah, I feel hopeful, and AOC was just here a few moments ago, in fact, and was talking about how that was a moment of coming together, and that's part of what moved us towards what we saw in the election, which is a commitment to a just and equitable transition off of fossil fuels, a commitment to a $2 trillion investment, a commitment to 40% of that going to investment in Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. And so I feel, cautiously hopeful that we can get there, but I also know that, the forces of austerity, the people who want to say we don't have enough money to deal with our crises, come out in moments like this. And we have to push back on that, and we're the movement that got Biden and Harris elected, but we also know that we're the movement that's going to have to hold them accountable to doing the thing that we need in our society and the thing that everybody wants, which is a solution to all of these crises, instead of more and more money going into corporations that are polluting and for some reason end up having politicians doing their bidding instead of the bidding of the people.
And there seem to be these factions of progressives. Some progressives think, well, Biden is actually going more right because he's had to cater to these like John Kasichs in the world. Other progressives think, yeah, he can be moved left. Like, he can listen to the AOCs of the world. It seems like your hope, your group's hope would be that he does move left, that he does listen to the people. It would seem like your thoughts, your hopes would be that he does move left, like that there is still hope that he moves left and does pay attention to union jobs, which he has said he's strong on, which he does pay attention to climate jobs. And disappointingly for progressives, the fracking issue, which Kamala's flip-flopped on famously, what would you say to progressives who kind of doubt that Biden can be moved left?
I would say it's our job to secure the things that we need. So it is our job not to wonder if people can be moved, but to actually move them. And so, yeah, absolutely, it's possible, and it's all of our jobs to make sure that they do it. And so we're going to hold them accountable to addressing the climate crisis at scale. With a $2 trillion plan, we're going to hold them accountable to investing 40% of that in Black and brown communities and indigenous communities. We're going to hold them accountable to creating millions of union jobs while they do so, because again, it's what they ran on. It's what the American people voted for, and it is what they were put in office to do. And so we are going to be uncompromising and unyielding at this point, because there is no more room for compromise. There's too many exponential curves of bad things going up, whether it's COVID or whether it is, the pollution that's causing climate change. We're setting records all the time. We're dealing with hurricanes in names that we've never had before in the Greek alphabet because we've run out of our alphabet. We have whole communities whose houses have been turned to ash. When we asked people, could you bring something from your community that was affected by a fire, they said we can't, because not only was our house burnt down, our entire community was burnt down. There's nothing for us to bring. And so that's what people are actually facing. And so we can't be, we have to be unyielding and uncompromising, because it's the science and the data and the pain and the suffering that come together to tell us that we have to demand what's needed.
Bernie Sanders actually went on, I believe it was CNN last night, and he didn't just hint at wanting the labor secretary job. He came right out and said it. What do you think that would look like? Do you think that would be a good choice for Biden?
I think yes, I think there are a lot of great choices, and I think that, the thing is, we can take a step towards the future we need. We can absolutely create millions of union jobs where people have protections. We can do that in a way that's building all of the things we need to deal with the climate crisis, that's building clean energy, that's building public transportation, that's building high-speed rail, that's building, and having workers having a decent living in regenerative agriculture. We can do so much across so many cabinets if we appoint the right people. And I think that now is the moment where we're going to see, is there a real commitment to that future we can have, where we're really, our government is truly for the people, so that we're able to not be in this moment of pain and suffering and dealing constantly with racial injustice and climate injustice and economic injustice, but get to a place where we actually feel liberated to not even have to be activists anymore. We don't want to be activists. So I don't actually want to be sleeping out here tonight. I want to be, I would love to teach or do something totally different. And but what I find is that it's not a future that we have committed to and made possible yet, but we just created an opening where we could create that future for ourselves. So we got to put our shoulder into it and go as hard as we can, because it's right in front of us. And and the work is, yes, here in the next few hours. Yes, it's over the next 4 years. But this is decades-long work as well to get this kind of the kind of country that the people of this country deserve. We deserve to thrive.
So tell the audience a little bit more about. I'll show them the tents. There are tents set up here. You've talked about what you have done. What are your plans for? Again, tell them about tomorrow and your plans for the future, the coming days.
So we're gonna at 5:00. So actually, in just a few minutes, we're gonna be placing some more items here at the altar and reading some more stories from around the country of people who have been affected by COVID, by hurricanes, by fires, and then by police brutality. And then we are going to have a light show at 8 p.m. So there'll be projections onto the DNC building, and then we'll wrap up after that. And then tomorrow morning, we have a closing ceremony with activists from all different movement spaces, movement leaders, to talk about the kind of vision that we have for this country that we are going to build together, and then we will wrap up. So we'll be here in total a little bit over 24 hours.
And is there a website or a Facebook or social media that they can find your group in general?
We've been using the hashtag Biden Be Brave, so you can find us there. And then we are with all different groups, actually. So there's over 13 groups here. So I'm with Arm in Arm for climate, and with U.S. Climate Action Network. We have folks here from Sunrise Movement, from Indigenous Environmental Network, from the It Takes Roots Coalition, the Right to the City. There's dozens and dozens of organizations who've been adding to these altars and speaking throughout the day.
Absolutely wonderful. Any last words you want to leave everyone with?
Join us. You can go to Arm in Arm for climate and join a hub. Be part of this, because it's fun and we have fun together.
Very good. Thank you so much.